What a glorious thing to be, a healthy grown-up busy, busy bee, whiling away the passing hours, pinching all the pollen from the cauliflowers. I'd like to be a busy, busy bee, being just as busy as a bee can be, flying round the garden, the sweetest ever seen, taking back the honey to the dear old queen.
So you can get to the banking in one of two ways from the dashboard. You can either click on the bank that you wish to work from the right hand side, and this is quite a handy overview as you can see how many transactions you've actually got to bookkeep. So 8 in this one, 12 in this, or alternatively you can just go to the left hand navigation menu and click on banking. So this is what QuickBooks calls the banking overview, and we can see from this profile here that we've got two banks linked. So we've got a Visa credit card and a current account. You can just switch between the two by simply clicking, or there's a little arrow drop down where you can switch between the two as well. So if we look at the current account as an example, we actually have a bank balance here. Now this balance is pulled directly from your online banking. What this means is that if you've added an account in QuickBooks and linked it to your business bank account by entering your credentials, this balance should be live based on how long ago you updated the bank. So you can see here this was updated on the 30th of October 19, so a little while ago now, but that would have been the balance as of at the 30th of the 10th 19 or thereabouts, based on obviously if there's any transactions clearing. The figure underneath actually is what QuickBooks thinks you've got in the bank at this moment in time. So ideally, once you've updated the bank and done your bookkeeping up to date, these two figures should actually match together, because what QuickBooks thinks you've got in the bank should actually be what you've got in the bank. If these figures don't match, then somewhere along the line something's gone wrong. There's numerous ways to find out what's gone wrong, but I would act this as a mini reconciliation. There is a full reconciliation you can do to find out where those differences lie, but this is kind of an ongoing, just keep an eye on it stage. This figure here in amber is actually how many documents you have to deal with or transactions that you've got to bookkeep, and it relates to the for review tab down here. So if we scroll down, you'll see that there are 12 transactions down here that are kind of sitting in thin air until we bookkeep them and tell QuickBooks where to put them. So you'll see down here we've got a few deposits into the bank and a few expenses. I won't go into what these green icons mean too much for the time being, because we will look at that in a few videos down the line. But the idea is that once you've book kept and you've added something into the system, so I'm just going to add something in. We'll swirl around, have a little think about it. You've got transaction matched, so that's gone in. You'll see the number has gone down to 11. It's disappeared from this for review section, and you'll actually see if you go to reviewed, it's now sitting in the reviewed tab here. So this means once it's reviewed, it's book kept, it's done, it's in the system. Don't fret though, if you do add something in by accident, you can simply go into the reviewed and click undo. It will say it was successful and it will bounce it back to the for review. So you'll see that number's gone back up to 12 and it's back in the for review section for you to allocate again correctly. So the idea between these two tabs is that the transactions flick between the two tabs there. You have got a third tab called Excluded. I wouldn't advise you to use this for any reason. The only reason that I tell clients to use it is if you have had a banking error where there's been some sort of technical issue and QuickBooks has pulled through duplicate bank transactions, which shouldn't happen, and QuickBooks support will tell you that if you ring them up as well. However, unfortunately, sometimes it is the case. You shouldn't be excluding anything from your bookkeeping, even if, for example, you buy something on your business card that's actually personal and you've used it by mistake. A lot of clients, the misconception is that you exclude it from the system. That is not the case. You have to actually bookkeep it in a way that QuickBooks knows the transactions exist. Otherwise, your two balances up here will never match and your bank will never reconcile. So there's only a few occasions where you may have to exclude the transaction, and that normally is because of a technical issue. So the other part of the banking section, which you might see on here, is this batch actions box. So What that means is if you've got some transactions that you are happy with in the for review section to bookkeep, and again, we will cover this later down the line, you can actually multiply tick the transactions, press batch actions and accept selected. And what that will do is hopefully it will get rid of 3 transactions out of the for review and put them in the review tab. So this speeds up your bookkeeping quite a bit, and further down the line you'll see how we can get as many of those into a batch action as possible. Again, you can undo them if need be.
Oh, what a glorious thing to be a healthy grown-up busy bee.